Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5:30, and I will call this regular meeting of the Burnsville City Council to order. It is our tradition to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we invite you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have announcements for our upcoming meetings and 3 proclamations. Council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, May 21st at 5:30 p.m. and Tuesday, June 4th at 5:30 p.m. We have a work session scheduled for Tuesday, May 14th at 5:30 p.m. and a special work session on Tuesday, May 28th at 4 p.m. Now, this work session is a special work session, and we are interviewing candidates for our board and commissions, and that will be held in Conference Room D. But all council meetings, work sessions, are held here in the council chambers. Now, I'm going to go to that side to do the proclamations. Members of the council and staff and citizens of Burnsville, I'm going to do the National Public Works Week proclamation first, and I'd like to wish Ryan, our Public Works Director, a happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Okay, National Public Works Week. Whereas public works service provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives. The support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operations of public works systems and programs such as water, sewer, streets, and highways, public buildings, fleet management, and parks. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and whereas the public works maintenance personnel are called upon in emergency situations at any hour of the day or night to clear snow from our streets, keep our water and sewer systems operating, keep our trees strong and healthy, maintain the fleet of operations and emergency vehicles, and prepare our parks, buildings, playgrounds, and facilities for the public's enjoyment. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, construction, and maintenance is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works staff, and whereas the efficiencies of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works department are materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. And now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, proclaim May 19th through the 25th, 2019 as National Public Works Week, and urge my fellow citizens to observe this period by acquainting themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and recognizing the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. The Public Works Department will host its first open house in many years on Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Burnsville Maintenance Center, 13713 Frontier Court, to show its equipment and value to the community. All citizens are welcome to attend. Proclaimed this 7th day of May 2018. And Mr. Peterson, would you and the members of the Public Works Department come forward, please? And then we'll take a picture over this. Yeah, so we'll go over here and take that picture. And yeah.
Okay.
So the council and our city manager. And, okay. very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
for recommending that.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'll go to Kids to Park Day, and then the last will be for police. Kids to Park Day, May 18, 2019. Whereas May 18, 2019 is the 9th Kids to Park Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. Whereas Kids to Park Day empowers kids and encourages family to get outdoor and visit America's parks. And whereas it is important to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. And whereas Kids to Parks Day is open to all children and adults across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 18, 2019 as Kids to Park Day and urge the residents of Burnsville to make time to take the children in their lives to a neighborhood, state, or national parks. On May 18, 2019, the Burnsville Recreation Department is offering a free sneak peek into the summer program, Parks and Trails, and from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at Clifton, Nicollet Commons, and Vista View Park, proclaimed this 7th day of May 2019. Our last proclamation is for National Police Week, whereas there are approximately 1 million law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Burnsville Police Department. And whereas it is well known and accepted that law enforcement is an inherently dangerous and demanding profession in which dedicated professionals knowingly place their lives in harm's way to protect others who are unable to protect themselves. Whereas the dedicated members of the Burnsville Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Burnsville. And whereas nearly 60,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in approximately 16,700 injuries within the United States. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 23,700 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in their line of duty. And whereas it is imperative that all citizens understand the challenges, duties, and responsibilities and sacrifices of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting citizens against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the City Council of the City of Burnsville wishes to honor all enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or have become disabled in the performance of their duties. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, formally recognize the Burnsville Police Department for their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities and their dedication to our community, and accordingly hereby proclaim May 6 through May 16, 2019 as National Police Week in Burnsville, Minnesota, and publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. And we thank you for your service. Proclaimed this 7th day of May 2019, and we'd like to present you with this proclamation, and we'll present here. And if all of the police officers come for photo op, please. And then Captain Schwartz and Benton.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad she made that announcement. It's really good.
That's nice. Run you through the tea.
Yeah.
The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the council on an item that is not on the printed agenda and not an application form that will be coming before us at a future date. And I see that someone wants to address the council. Please come forward and present at that side.
Yeah, just
Yes, and give us your name and address for the record, please.
Kevin Grass, 13615 Oakland Drive, Burnsville.
Welcome,
And
Mr. Grass.
Just giving a shout out for the Ames Arena for the Burnsville Arts Show that's going from
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah.
till June 14th. And hopefully you all partake and
We'll be
check it
there.
out. Yes.
We'll be there. Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, thank you so much. The next item is for emergency items only, and this is additions to the final agenda. Mrs. Mascoli, are there any additions to the final agenda?
There are no additions, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Members of the council, any emergency items? Okay, we will move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a group of items that's considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. However, an item on a consent agenda can be removed for a separate discussion and vote. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes an item to be pulled from the consent agenda for a separate discussion and vote? Anyone? Ms. Mascoli?
No, Your Honor. No, Madam Mayor. Excuse me.
Members of the council? Okay. May I have a motion to adopt?
Move to approve.
Yeah, yeah. There's a motion to adopt a consent agenda. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. And then we now move on to the regular agenda. And the first item on the regular agenda is a public hearing. And this is a resolution ordering improvement, approving plans and specifications, and ordering advertisement for bids for the 121st Pleasant Street and Trail Improvement Project. And Ms. Jen Desrud, our city engineer, is presenting. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. So as you mentioned, this is the public hearing for the 121st Street and Pleasant Trail and Public Improvement Project. Oops. Well, I'll just go backwards real quick. Okay. So tonight we'll talk about the process overview for ordering the project, a project overview and describing the need for the project. This is a special assessment project, so we'll talk a little bit about the methodology and then open for the public hearing. So the process overview, the council ordered the preliminary report in February. We held a neighborhood meeting in April. And then tonight is the public hearing for the project, and then in June, we'll come back and award the project. In the summer and fall, there'll be construction, and then I have 2 dates here for substantially complete. We're hoping that they can get through the work this year, but it may carry on into next year, and so there's sort of 2 options for that. If it were to carry on, we'll do assessments next year. If we can get it wrapped up this year, we'll do assessments with this year's assessments. And then the assessment hearing. So here's the project overview. 121st Street from the frontage road to the end of it would be a reclamation project. And then on Pleasant Avenue, that would be a full reconstruction. And as you'll see in the following pictures, the street has sunk quite a bit, and that's due to 9 foot of peat that's beneath the surface. So we have to do some soil corrections with the geotextile fabric. And then trail replacement on both sides, or both streets. In conjunction with the project, there'll be some storm sewer lining, and then there's a few monitoring wells that we can close at the same time, as long as we're having a contractor in the area. So this picture on the left is Pleasant Avenue looking south, and I took it quite a while ago in the winter, so that is frozen water in the gutter goes out into the street right of ways. And then you can see the trail, it's a dark picture, I took it in the morning. This is all ice over the trail and then all ice in the gutter. This picture on the right is the intersection of Pleasant and 121st, also taken in winter conditions and maybe some thawing happening, but you can see a lot of water held into the street and not draining very well, and that's due to the poor, the sinking of the street. So our project costs, we're going to propose using a deed grant that we have been awarded a portion of it, so $210-ish for the deed grant. Special assessments in the amount of about $172,000, ITF, $192,000, and then storm utility and water utility for those well closures and the storm lining. So it's about a $650,000 project. For special assessments, we'll only be assessing for the street rehabilitation and construction, the sewer, and all of the other components that are not going to be part of the special assessment. And we'll base the special assessments on the rates that we have published in our fee schedule. So it'll be based on the frontage adjacent to the street, and then the remainder of the project cost will be paid for by the grant and the ITF. And this is our special assessment pay back just directly from the policy, with ranging from 1 year to 15-year payback. All of these assessments are over $2,000, so they'll be in that 15-year range. And if we do the special assessment this year, the interest rate will be at 5%. If we hold off until next year, it'll be whatever the interest rate is at the time. The two rates we're proposing for the reclamation is $49.69 per foot, and for the reconstruction, $68.61. We did have a neighborhood open house inviting the 4 property owners that are adjacent, and we had one of them attending. That property owner had a lot of interest in surrounding projects, particularly the 35W Bridge project, and didn't really show much concern about this project. He recognized that there's a definite need. And other than that, no other comments were received.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Desrude? Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Move to approve. Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Gustafson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. The next item is item number 6, and this too is a public hearing, and this is a resolution vacating a portion of Ames Drive right-of-way adjacent to 1900 Ames Drive. Ms. Desrude, our city engineer, is presenting. Ms. Desrude.
So this area, as described as 1900 Ames Drive, the veterinarian clinic is there, and that development application was approved during your consent agenda, but the vacation is a public hearing. And this is a copy of the plat, and you can see in this green area, that's the area that's proposed to be vacated. So it's not going anywhere in the street. We're not vacating the street, but just an extra wide width of right-of-way. It looks to me that the right-of-way was dedicated and then the street was built in a different location.
Yeah.
So we're able to vacate a section of it and still maintain the street. So that's the purpose, is really a cleanup. And private utility owners had no objections, and city utilities are not in that area.
Okay, good. It's usual and routine cleanup work that we have to do whenever we have these projects. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Schultz. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. The next item is item number 7, and it's related to the previous item. And this is the application of Gerald and Suzanne Wood for a final plat known as Peace of Mind Addition for a 1-lot industrial subdivision at 1900 Ames Drive. Ms. Desrude.
So here is a copy of the final plat, and this is also, it was a meets and bounds description, and they are doing, as approved earlier tonight, an expansion of their property, so they needed to plat. On the plat, you can see that the vacation that you just approved is already shown, and that's why the order of events tonight is vacation first and then the plat. This is not a public hearing. It's just a routine item.
Okay. Again, it is our process, our administrative process. Members of the council, any questions for Ms. Desrude? If not, I need a motion to approve the final plat,
Motion to
please.
approve.
Councilmember Keely makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Workman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. Members of the council, there are no other items to come before us this evening, and a motion to adjourn is in order.
Move to adjourn.
Councilmember Gustafson makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Workman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Good night, and thank you for being with us.